Assalamualaikum and good day to my lecturer and classmates. My name is Adik Silki bin Muhammad Rashidi Syam. Today, I will be present on the cylinder deactivation system or CDS, focusing on how it optimizes engine efficiency and environmental performance. In the first section, we will cover the overview and history of CDS. Looking at the evolution of variable displacement technology, the search for fuel efficiency, and the modern regulatory driver behind it. So, what is the cylinder deactivation? At its core, it is an electromechanical system that temporarily shut down specific cylinder during low load operation conditions, such as highway cruising, to reduce fuel consumption. Its main job is pumping loss reduction. By eliminating manifold vacuum restriction, the active cylinders are forced to operate at a higher, more efficient load, which drastically improves volume efficiency. Look at its history. The concept began in the 1910 on the World War I aircraft engine. Later, in 1981, Cadillac introduced the V8, 6 and 4 system, but it failed due to slow microprocessor speed of that era. It was not until the 2000s the high-speed ECUs revived CDS, giving birth to systems like GM Active Fuel Management and Honda VCM. Today, in the modern era, it is widespread even on small 3 and 4 cylinder engines. Next, let's move into section 2, Theory of Operation. We will explore how the valve train and engine management unit work together to disable firing chamber on the fly. The deactivation cycle happens in 3 main steps. First, valve sealing. The intake and exhaust valve stay closed, trapping exhaust gas to create a gas spring effect that reduces piston friction. Second, fuel cut-off. The ECU immediately stop electrical pulses to the fuel injector of the activation cylinder to ensure zero emission. Third, higher load. The active cylinders are forced to open their throttle wider, operating at a much higher and efficient thermodynamic zone. Mechanically, how does this happen on vehicle like Volkswagen model? It uses sleeve cam shifting. Electromagnetic actuator extend a metal pin into spiral groove, tracks on sliding camshaft sleeve. This action slides the sleeve sideways, replacing the high lift cam lobe with a zero lift flat profile, which stops all valve motion instantly. Finally, in section 3, we will look at the analysis and future of technology, providing a balanced evaluation of its mechanical complexity, real-world trade-off, and next-generation improvement. Let's evaluate the system parameter. For efficiency, it cuts CO2 emission and fuel use by up to 15% on highways, but gives zero benefit in stop-and-go urban traffic. For complexity, it offers cost-effective integration into existing engine architecture, but add many moving parts, actuator component and wiring. In terms of NVH, and field, ultra-fast transition between 13 to 40 milliseconds make switching imperceptible, but cylinder imbalance can create torsional engine vibration. For maintenance, it requires no heavy battery pack or hybrid cooling systems, but mechanical components are extremely sensitive to correct low viscosity engine oil. To solve this issue, two improvements are proposed. First, dynamic skip fire or DSF. This switch from fixed cylinder shutdown to an intelligent dynamic firing order calculate cycle by cycle, which complete neutralize NVH. Second, camless free valve system. This replaces mechanical camshaft completely with electronic or hydraulic actuator, offering infinite control of valve lift without any physical cam friction. That's conclude my slide. Thank you for all.